Hello and welcome everyone to Defining Consciousness. And today the subject of the class is We Are the World. It's continuation of the previous classes that we're talking about the greatness of our soul and connecting to our higher self and our the best version of ourselves. So today in We Are the World, this class is really about, and we can see it in the next slide, we are here to understand more about our attributes, to identify our attributes as extension of the light of the Creator, and to receive ideas and tools to support us in our growth and how we can, with that, influence in our own environment, in the world, right? So identifying the attributes is so important, and I want to give it a name today, that to identify our uniqueness. Okay, so connect to our uniqueness, because basically our natural tendency is to see what is wrong with us. You know, there's a lesson by Rav Ashlag talking about understanding or learning about the evil within, so to see what needs to be corrected. But because of our natural tendency of seeing what's wrong, Karen Berg brought the center, the Kabbalah Center, to a place in recent years of more connecting to your heart and to empower and to really connect more to learning of identifying the good within you, okay? In order for each one of us to see the greatness of our soul. So if we don't see the greatness of my soul, if we don't identify our uniqueness, how can we see the good heart in the other person? How can we see the good in others? How can we see the uniqueness in others, right? That in a way that will benefit the entire world. So it always has to start within us by looking inside of each one of us, looking about our uniqueness and the growth of our soul will allow us to really to influence the world. Most of the times, actually, when we see the greatness or when we see the uniqueness, unfortunately, we separate ourselves from others. And that is the seed level for all the chaos in our life. If we'll go back and we'll connect, we'll see we are now connecting to the level of Chokhmah right now. We're connecting to the level of where the thought and the consciousness that existed from time of Adam and Eve. So we'll go to the next slide, and I wanted to show you the evolution of our growth, okay? Because if we look at the chart, we'll see Adam and Eve, they were one unified, one global soul. It was one global soul, and from time of Adam and Eve, that particular soul spreaded into 600,000 souls. It's kind of in every, like, really, each one of us has a spark from Adam and Eve, and each generation will see how as we go in the chart. In each generation, we'll see an image, a person, a channel of light that took the knowledge of the universe and brought it in the specific language to each generation. So, if we see Abraham is the channel of mercy. And just a little bit about the story of Abraham. At the age of 75, the awakening of his soul got to ask that, what is that more that I can do in life? How can I reveal more in life? And it took him like 24 years when he was Abraham and he became Abraham. And the purpose of, we have it in one sentence, right? The purpose of Abraham is to bring the concept of the complete and the united soul. Okay, so the complete and united soul that we all one, and he brought it in his way to the world. Then we see in Moses, in his generation, in Moses' generation, he connected millions to the idea of unity. And when I look at Moses, at the story of Moses, there's one in particular that came to me in relation to Karen Berg. Like, I see that there's so much similarity in the work that Karen has done in the world. Moses brought everyone together as a community. He brought everyone together, all humanity, with doesn't matter what the opinion, doesn't matter what the religion, what they believed in, the color, gender. He brought everyone together under the same idea of unity. When they were united as one soul, there was a revelation of enormous amount of light in Mount Sinai that revealed the ten utterances and the idea of how you play in the game of life in such a great way of unity. When we go to the next generation is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the revelation of the Zohar, and with that he was able to reveal to all humanity the tools and the knowledge how to get to each person final redemption. So we know already that in the book of the Zohar we have so many tools, so much interpretation to the previous information that Moses and Abraham and from Adam and Eve, much more in a language that we can understand much more. And it's so powerful for each one of us to connect more and to get out of our limitation, work on ourselves to get to our final redemption. The Ari, in the next generation, connected humanity to the knowledge of the 10 Sfirot, the 10 worlds, the 10 level of consciousness, giving us even more information, more interpretation to the Zohar. Rav Ashlag that we'll learn from also this evening, make Kabbalah much more accessible to all with his interpretation to the Zohar, and with all those articles that giving us more and more understanding. And of course, when we come into our generation with the Rav and Karen Berg provided each one of us the opportunity to be part of the unified system by allowing each one of us to identify our uniqueness, to connect to what is that our soul came here to do every time, in every way. So seeing that, we really wanted to connect to that information that each one of these righteous people and the Kabbalists, because we all connected, we are all one soul, that we all connected, and I'll explain it shortly, but allow us to, all humanity really, to influence with the spark of the Creator that within each one of us, to influence on the environment and in the world. And just even thinking right now, how many of us really sit and think on a daily basis? Do I influence? Do I really make an impact? Do I really stop and say thank you? Do people say thank you to you? Do people appreciate who you are, right? It's something that we wanted to ask ourselves sometimes. And what we see here, that there's a planted seed in each generation, there's a planted seed, and there is a development and evolvement of the knowledge and the influence on humanity. Rav Ashlag asked in one of his articles, how come that there us in the generation that we live in, that consider to be the lowest as far as the lowest in consciousness, right? If we compare ourselves to Moses or Abraham or even the Rav and Karen, like we live in the lowest in consciousness. I mean, like how come this generation that they are considered to be the generation of the heel, in Hebrew the akev, right? If we look at the body of the human body, we'll see the heel is the lowest part of the body. So how come this generation will reveal the most amount of light? How come they have the ability to do that? How come, what are they so different? How come this generation, the lowest generation, the Akev generation, they are different than the previous generation before that really created miracles and acknowledged the miracles? And we live in the world that also obviously full of miracles, but most of the time we don't even acknowledge that or see that or identify the miracles. It seems that our generation, from everything that it says in all the scripts, on our generation, we're given the job, we're given the mission to reveal the most amount of light, which considered to be the light of Messiah, which is the collective consciousness. According to Karen Berg, the connection of Messiah is connecting people together from any areas of life, any gender, any opinion, any ideas, from any sort of life. When they connecting together, we can, with our consciousness, influence the world. But the problem is that we do not have any certainty or belief in our ability to create that peace or bring the consciousness of Messiah into the world. What will be the thing that will awaken us within us, to awaken this certainty back in our ability? What will be the thing that will bring to each one of us the understanding of our uniqueness? How can we know what is our uniqueness? And this is the session of this evening. We can see in the next slide, I brought you just for the energy that you will all know, you are welcome to open it in your own book, the Zohar, from the portion of Toldot, verse number 3. Okay? And in this verse, I will read from the Zohar directly. And it says here in the English translation, that it says here, just as the body of man is composed of levels of parts that act together to form a unified body, so is the world. Which means, if we look like as the body that is divided, as the human body divided to different organs and different cells, this is how Adam and Eve really contained all the souls. I'll give you an example. If we take light bulbs, okay? So one light bulb, for example, it's 100 volt of energy, right? And if I take 100 light bulbs, that each light bulb is 1 volt, the question is, if one light bulb that has 100 volt energy in it is equal to 100 light bulbs that has 1 volt each one, you understand my question? It's like energy equals to 100 light bulbs that has each one 1 volt equals to 1 light bulb that has 100 volt. And I'll explain this. It's the same light. Energy doesn't disappear. Our body, if we read this section from the Zohar, we can go back to this section just to have the energy of the Aramaic of the Zohar. So our body, you know, the build, the essence, the seed level is the same in each body that every person has in the world. Most people, this is like the ideal body, each person has 2 eyes, 1 nose, 1 mouth, right? It doesn't matter which color their skin is, their gender. All of us has the same face structure, right? So what is really the difference between each one of us? Each one of us has the same organs, the same cells. It's like one body, and each organ and each cell has its own level of consciousness, and they act differently because each one has its own level of consciousness. But as a whole, they act as one unified body, right? So when we say to someone, I want to speak with you, right? We don't say to him, I want to speak with your nose, or I want to speak with your hand, right? Because I wanted to speak with you. I want to speak with you as a whole. What am I saying with this is that each body has its own energy, and the only difference that is between one body to another or one person to another is the amount of energy that exists with each person. Okay? When we talk about the one unified soul that existed, that split into 600,000 souls, and obviously in time it split even more because we are now almost 9 billion people in the world. And when we say that it split, that each body contain different amount of soul in each body. Okay? What does it mean? Let's say, I'm taking for an example, I have this box of tissue, and let's say this is the vessel, this is the body. Okay? Each one of us have this body and contain a particular energy. It can contain this amount of energy. So what's the difference between one body to another? It's what's the capacity of the body to contain the amount of soul in it. Okay? Each one of us as a vessel has the capacity to contain certain, like our soul in it. The thing is like in time, like each one of us actually has, if let's say this is a capacity of 100% soul that we can contain, each one of us contain in time that, let's say 10% of what's the capacity of the vessel that we can hold, the amount of soul. So as we do in our spiritual work, obviously, and we do more restriction and we going against our nature and overcoming the desire for the self alone, we revealing more and more of our soul, and we removing more and more of the layers, and therefore we having more of the amount of the soul that comes into our vessel. So maybe if when we were 5, let's say we had 1% of the soul in our body. So as we grew, we came to a level that maybe we have right now 50% of the capacity of the soul. Why am I sharing with you this? Because obviously we understand that at this point in our life, no matter where you are right now, we do not contain in our body 100% of our soul. Therefore, we always feel some sort of lack and some sort of like some things is not enough, or I'm not doing enough. Something is missing, because every now and then we're realizing that there is much more for us to reveal in our life. And I hope that we all feel like that we have more to reveal, we have more desire to receive. So if we going back to the human body or the human soul, so the human body is the totality of the amount of all the organs within the body. So if one organ, according to this verse number 3, if one organ doesn't work properly, right? So what does it mean? It's affecting the functions of the whole body, right? So what does it mean to us? What does it mean about us? That if we are creature in the world and we are as organs in the body, and we're representing the organs of the supreme soul of Adam, right? So if each one of us do not work properly or function properly, so obviously we affected the rest of the world. And as it says here in the translation in the Zohar, right? So just as the body of man is composed of levels of parts that act together to form unified body, so is the world. All the creatures in the world are parts that act on and react with each other. So they will actually be as one body. Okay? So what does it mean connecting to our uniqueness? How we affect in the world? By first of all understanding that we are an organ of the supreme Adam, okay, the soul of Adam. So just for example, if someone has an attribute, or one of his attributes is working with his hand, let's say a carpenter or a painter, you know, it says that he has this attribute because he was given it from the hand of Adam Elyon, of Adam, of the soul of Adam. If someone is an athlete and he is running, so he's received it from the legs part of Adam. So this is how we are. In each human being is basically an organ in the world, okay? And we all part, with that we understand that we all part of this one body, and we all part of one soul. By understanding this, we understand that the world and us, humanity, we are all part of one. So if we're coming back to ourselves, if each soul is part of Adam, what the ego wants us to believe? The ego wants us to believe that we're special, right? And you know what? The ego is right. This time is right. You are very special. But what's the problem with that? Is that ego is tricking us. Because when the ego tells us you're special, automatically we're saying to ourselves, oh, I'm special, therefore I'm different, I'm better, I'm unique in such a very different way, and this body is me, and therefore we do not understand that the other person, which is another organ in the supreme body, is actually complete in me. And if we are organs, various organs, and we represent one particular organ, and he represents another particular organ within this body, we have to understand that we all together complete one unified body. And then there is the soul, infinite soul, and there is the body from infinite of the upper world. So when we saying I'm so special and I'm so unique, we actually saying, in other words, that this person and this person and that person is necessary in my life and for me because he's completing me. Okay, we get it? I will go a little bit deeper and elaborate on that. When we say when we're unique and we're special, we are saying that each one of us is so necessary in my life and for me because he is helping me to be complete, to be a whole. The ego led us to believe that we do not need anyone, and therefore we separating ourselves from people, and we're saying to ourselves, oh, I can handle everything by myself, and we feel even great about it. But it takes not too long when we're realizing and there's time in life, you know, that we feel so lonely and sad, and later we feel, you know, I don't really impact much, and I have nothing to give, and I have no one to give to or influence on. And the only way that we can really remove pain from the world and from our life, Rav Ashlag is saying, that we really need to understand and to have this understanding, deep understanding within us, that we are all one unified body. And that person, and that person, and that person, and everyone is needed in my life to complete me. Okay? There's a sentence that it says by Kabbalists, they say, Ezu ashir asameach bechelko. I'll translate it into English. It's so great that there's like, you know, who is this rich person that is so happy with his what he has in bechelko, in what he has in what he has in his life. So the person that is rich is happy in what he has. He appreciates what he has, and he doesn't look at other people what they have. But this is like obviously one interpretation to this sentence. When we're talking about bechelko, in like what he has is like his part. Bechelek is his part, and it says here is not just the part of his soul, that he's so happy about the part of his soul. It says here that in each person, there is a part that is from the complete whole. And the understanding that a person that is very rich is rich in his consciousness, not just in sustenance. He's rich in consciousness. When you're rich in your consciousness, when you reach a level of a high consciousness, it says here, it's like when we reach an understanding that I have a part of light that is from the complete light that exists in the world. And he has light within him, that it's part of the complete light that exists in the world. And he has light, and that person has light. And each one has parts, bechelko, parts of light, that when you combine them together, it brings us into the complete light. And it says here, Kabbalists are saying that that person that really understands this is so rich with his consciousness, and it's by having that understanding connecting us to the kav emtza, to the central column, to really understand that when we overcome in our nature, when we practice the power of restriction, when we're doing our spiritual work, we're starting to identify the light in each person. And with that, also understand, deep understanding, that I cannot be or live in this world without the light of other people, because each light of the people around me and in the world complete me, complete you. Because in our essence, we are one. And therefore, we're all unique. Because, you know, as we do in our spiritual work, we identify the power that we have within, we identify more of the attributes, we overcome in limitation, and we see that actually overcoming on different situations, we become even stronger. But in the same time, there are different areas in our life that seems that over there we are having lack of confidence and we have low self-esteem. So you know what does it mean, self-esteem? And I wanted to present it to you in the next slide. When we say that we want to have self-esteem, or we have self-esteem, which means we are saying, I'm special. And I wanted to say even more, I'm special, I'm unique in such a way that without me, the world is not complete. And I wish to hear you now saying it. And this is kind of a mantra that I highly recommend you to say it and to have it for yourself with humbleness, right? But even if you have an ego about it, no problem, as long as you understand that you're so unique and you're so special that without you, the world is not complete. Because when people will say to you that you have low self-esteem, what the person will think, if someone will tell me I don't have a self-esteem, what will I think? What will you think? Obviously, the first thought that will come to our head, oh, everyone can exist, this can exist without me, the world can exist without me, right? Wrong. Only if we'll continue saying, I'm special, I'm unique, and the world cannot be complete without me. Why? Because each one of us is an organ in this body. Each one of us has its unique light, that when we combine it together, it has a whole light that is being revealed in the world. Because our natural tendency is to translate what I just said into a way that maybe, oh, it's a curse, or maybe the ego is saying, oh, I'm separated. Let's start with that. I wish that each one of us will really have a deep understanding about this, and that it will sink in, that each one of you is so special that the world cannot be complete without you. Most of the time we take in this uniqueness as a separation. Like we think that the organs in our body are separated. This is the side of the ego. And I'm like thinking myself, who am I? Like, am I thinking I'm more than others, or I'm higher than others, if I may say? Yeah, there may be a lot of people that have so much in their life. Who am I? I haven't done anything like that, right? So there's the two types of egos. Who am I? Or I'm thinking I'm better than others. But the thing is like we shouldn't settle for less. And more than that, we need to understand that this brings so much anger to the world and to people. Because why people are angry? Why people are angry? So we know that maybe some people are angry because they haven't shared their opinion and they keep it inside their thoughts and they're not expressing themselves. So therefore the anger is like exploding and maybe they start to rebel. I've just heard before I came to give this class that someone shared with me why people are screaming at each other when they're angry. They're screaming at each other because they are so distant from themselves, they don't hear themselves. So they have to scream instead of just talk. I found it like really nice, very nicely mood. But really, why people are angry? What's the seed level of the seed level of the seed level that people are angry? You know why? Because we haven't used our uniqueness to be part of everyone else. Okay? This is the seed level of the chaos in the world, and I'm going to repeat it. We haven't identified, or if we identified it, we haven't used our uniqueness to be part of the world, to be part of everyone, to influence with our uniqueness in the world. Because we haven't expressed our uniqueness, we bring anger into the world and we bring chaos into the world. Even though sometimes we feel above someone or we feel lower than someone else, we don't feel the other person, he doesn't feel me. And what's the Zohar telling us here? That we all part of the Supreme or the Apple Adam. And our purpose is to go back to become one. How we can become one? By expressing our uniqueness and sharing it with the world. Because the world is not complete without you. can go to the next slide, and I wanted to share with you a message that I've read from the Ari. I'm going to read it in Hebrew and I'll translate the concept into English. ראוי לאדם תמיד לכוון ולהעריך את עצמו כאילו מדור וכיסא לאצילות הקדוש, ובזה תחול ותשרה עליו קדושה עליונה, ויוכל אז על ידי כוונה זו לקשר כל העולמות. So just to share with you that this is the intention of the meditation before we do in the tikkun hanefesh, the correction of our soul. But before we go into this, what the Ari is saying here, that if we're not putting ourselves with humbleness, in shivui tzura, in equal to the Creator, because the Creator, we have the sparks of the Creator within us, which means we have the uniqueness of the Creator with each one of us. And we need to start to identify what is our uniqueness. Even like having this session while I'm talking, you can write down to yourself. Start to write down to yourself, what is our uniqueness? In the way you have your compassion, the way you parent your kids, the way you friend with other people, the way you volunteer, the way you share, the way you act. What is your uniqueness? You know, it's reminded me like, you know, when there's in marketing, when you want a brand or you want to create a branding for a product, what do? We take the product, right? I'm taking back the tissue box. You take the product and you write what are the uniqueness of this box, what it can serve us with, like how it can serve the people, and we're writing down the uniqueness to the box and we brand it. So what I'm asking from you is that you will brand yourself, write the uniqueness about your product, about you, about who you are. Sell yourself to yourself, okay? So if we go to, if we saw what the Ari meant basically, that a person needs to know and see himself as he's sitting like a chair next to a chair to the Creator, okay? Like literal translation, I'm saying it. To know that you are worthy, you know that you have your uniqueness, and you need ולהעריך את עצמו, and you need to appreciate yourself as if you sit next to the Creator together. And when you see yourself like that, then the light of the Creator dwells on you. Only when we have our vessel, identify our vessel, identify the vessel that holds this amazing soul of yours, okay? It's very important. Brand yourself, sell yourself to you. Because the Ari is saying that each one of us has the potential that of the vessel, that the light can dwell in it. And we need to identify what's your vessel. And by identify what's your vessel, what's your qualities, what's your attribute, your greatness to yourself, then the light can dwell in. Then the light can dwell within you and live there and shine through it. Whenever we are really aware of the fact that each cell of the body, each organ in the body needs to shine as a one unified body. But in the moment we identify it, the light can dwell in. And to help us as a tool, we know that the exercise, part of the Ana Bekoach, is the tikkun hanefesh, is the correction of the soul. I can show you in the next slide that the way we are doing it, most of you have seen this chart that is separated, like each organ, each area of our body, and with the Hebrew letters of the Creator, in different way of saying it. But the way we're using it, just a reminder to all of us, is like we are taking the right hand and we using the right hand as the conduit to put the light and channel the light through the hand to every area of our body. And we allow ourselves to really stop in each area and give the energy to each organ of our body, because we are acknowledging the organs of our body that they are part of of the supreme body, okay, to the upper body of Adam. And by doing that, we inject in the light of the Creator within each organs, okay? And this is why we call it the tikkun nefesh, or correction to the soul. It's like injecting the light of the Creator with each part of our body. It's also a healing, Kabbalistic healing way that has been used for generations and years. This is like the medicine. So it's a reminder for us. And yes, we may, in the process, will go through high and lows. We may fall, we may go into doubt. But we need to always remember. We need to always remember that we are special, we are unique, and besides each one of you, each one of the people that exist in the world will not be complete, will not be a whole, because each one of you has a part of the light that needs to be revealed in it as a whole. Okay? Just imagine that one of the organs in the body, God forbid, has a dark spot around it. We know it's a disease and we do not want it, right? We're going through so many tests in our life. We're going through so much experiences, and as we call it in Hebrew, nisyonot. We're going through different challenges in our life. And those challenges are helping us and supporting us to reveal more and more and more of our soul and our uniqueness. Because we are the world and the world is us. We're the Creator and the Creator is us. We are the light and the light is us. And we are one unified. It's not easy to understand what I've just said and really take it in. I hope that you will, but even each action that we are doing impact the rest of the world, right? Because the thing is, we do not see the impact of our action. Maybe we do not want to see, and if we saw, we forgot. We have to remember that at the beginning of time, before our soul came into this world, there was a contract that the soul signed with the Creator. Na'aseh v'nishma, we'll do, and then we'll hear. We'll do, and then we'll see. Right? Rav Berg always said that most people in the world wants to see the proof before they will act. And the Rav always taught us, first act and then you will see. First act and then you will see. And we wanted to make it clear to all of us that we're here to impact in such a great way beyond what we think we can impact with. The Rav used to always say that if each one of you will even know what is your power that is within you, you will be surprised. Most of us really acting with like low voltage, like reacting with like when our battery is low, and we are right in time that we want to connect to our uniqueness. We want to connect more and more of the understanding of who we are. This is an impact, and understand that without each one of you, the world will not be complete. And I want to repeat the sentence. We see it in the next slide. I am special. Please use this mantra. Write it down for yourself. I'm special. I'm unique. Without me, the world is not complete. Okay? The moment we identify our uniqueness, by the way, the moment you will write down your attributes, what are you good at, what is special within you, the moment you will identify it, you will see, you will have a drive within you, like motivation, that you will ask yourself, and you will ask the world. You will have this question to the world, like, where can I impact more? How can I reveal more of my light? This will bring you so motivation to do more, to act more, And by us acting more, and we're supporting the system, we're completely supporting the system of uniqueness, and that each one of us will get to his final redemption. In the Zohar, in portion of Tzav, in verse 71, the verse says like this: "Le'olam yireh adam atzmo ki'ilu kol ha'olam talui bo." It's a repetition of what I've just said. It's that the person has to always see himself that the world is dependent on him, that the whole world is dependent on you. And I'm saying this not just that we'll all we should take responsibility. It shouldn't be heavy. It's just to really empower each one of us to connect more to our greatness. Connecting more to our greatness, there's more drive, seeing more of the good in others, complimenting others. Unity. This is the unity, when you see the great in other people. You see the light, that there's other person has the light, and his part of light and my part of light connect together to even much more. One of the 72 names I've chose for this class that can support you in your meditation using this mantra is the 72 name that is Mem Yud Hey, and you can see it in the next slide. Mem Yud Hey, you can use that because Mem Yud Hey is the power of unity. And the power of unity is the power of unity can exist only when we see the good in other person. Therefore, there is no jealousy. Remember the class of jealousy? There's no jealousy because we see our uniqueness. And I wanted to end with a quote from Karen. And Karen said in the past, "You didn't come down here just to be an individual. You came down here to grow something out of that soul that was implanted in you." So we have a job to do. Each one of us has its own unique job to do in this world, to share his uniqueness and influence your immediate family, your immediate environment, and another circle, the world. We're impacting the world by connecting to our uniqueness. So let's remember that. And remember, we all need each other. You and you and you, your lights, together with mine, will bring the light to the world, and we connect to the energy of peace and to the energy of Messiah, which is the collective consciousness to be complete and whole and peace in the world. With that, I'm wishing all of us much more clarity and understanding and happiness in this work, and I hope that we really take it in and moving, that will give us the drive for each one of us to be more empowered and to move to his next level in life, next step of revelation of light in such an enormous amount of light that each one of you can reveal. Thank you very much for joining me today.